I was a little bit crazy, but you know what I did? I decided to coach. I said, you got a big mouth. You think you know everything? Go coach and see how fun that is. And that's how I hated to be a coach.
All right.
That's how I became.
That's how you became a coach and hated parents?
I coached a religious school. I coached this Catholic school. And I like to have fun with the kids. And our chant was God Squad on 3. 1, 2, 3, God Squad. Yeah. And we received several letters from the town teams we played complaining that we were using God to an advantage during a soccer game, and it was unfair.
That's hysterical. That's hysterical.
You change it to
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, St. Francis Executory Preparatory School. That was our next one.
That's hysterical.
It was just
they were using God to your advantage.
We
were
so using God to our advantage.
Of all the things that I thought when you said that story, I thought you were going to get complaints from people saying you were not being reverent enough.
Slandering God.
Yeah, not being reverent, slandering God, using God with you as coach. I mean, any of that stuff I would object to as a lapsed Catholic. And anyway, Paul, how about you? Were you?
I was a little woke. I will admit, I don't like the head balls, like the head injuries. Kids are growing up, so like when that ball was punted, I'd yell to my kid, get out of there. Let someone else head that thing,
Well, the good news with that, if 50-50 back in those days, you would want the other team. They would trap the ball for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You let them get hurt, and you take the ball after they'll hold in their head, or you know what?
We used hard plastic balls.
Those are the hard ones back in the days.
You see, like an imprint of a patch on your forehead. Those things sucked. I don't know if I would make my kid wear a helmet. I wouldn't go that far, but I had him wear, a cup. Had him wear a mouth guard because I wasn't going to pay any unnecessary dental bills, and then I had him wear a second cup because they were having a sale on cups. So that's kind of my kid went out there. He was more than reinforced.
That's good thinking.
And you can score with any part of your body. So like people should wear a cup because you could literally like pelvic thrust the ball, and that's a goal. You know what I mean? And that thing comes ricocheting off that thing. You can get some power on that. You run through the ball to score.
It's so funny because you said that about you could pelvic thrust.
Yeah.
That was number 12 on Jim. That was the 12th penalty kick score on Jim. Let's talk about international rules. Here's my question with this, all right? Is this our 900th episode? Why are we talking about this topic? Because this seems like a topic that you only bring up when you've run out of other topics.
No, it's not. Because it's what everybody has complained about forever about soccer. There are people that we know our age. I don't watch soccer because of the stupid handball rules. I don't watch soccer because why on earth are we relying on 3 referees to decide offsides and how much time is left at the end of a game? It's a huge topic, Dave.
It is a big topic.
It is. It's a huge topic.
It's a huge topic?
Yes.
Okay, then what do you want to say about the new handball extra time?
I don't even know anymore what a handball is. Okay. Jim does like when you watch and they say we're going to go to replay, you're just like, I have no idea what they're going to choose here.
What they're trying to say is, whereas before you'd take a ball, right, and you'd throw it you'd kick it into the box, and if it hit your arm and you were just running by and it hit your arm, it was a handball. That was how it used to be, where anything from the shoulder down, I don't care if it just hit your elbow as you're running.
No, but it was unintentional. It wasn't a handball.
That's where they've changed it.
No, that was how when we grew up, it was unintentional. You would just let it go because you didn't.
No, they would call it all the time. Listen, I had 15 penalty shots,
right,
Paul.
But you're right. No, you're right. But some refs, very few, were supposed to say that was unintentional and just let it go.
Yeah, the problem was it was so wishy-washy of what a handball actually was, whereas they were calling it, in my experience, they were calling it all the time.
You're right.
Somebody hits the ball and you're running away and it goes off your elbow, away, that's a handball. Now the international rules have changed to where it has to be intent. Yeah, I mean, those guys are kicking the ball at 100 miles an hour on a wall of people. And if it hits somebody, they're covering their chest like they're supposed to now. Yeah. They're covering their groin. And if it hits their arm, they're not going to call a handball anymore. And if there is any question, they go to replay just to confirm it, that it wasn't an intentional play.
So
to me, it's changed it a lot. But
if it's unintentional, but the hand's in an unnatural position, you got to have that part.
Yeah, that's true.
This is unintentional, and I just happen to be moving this way, but because my hand's out, that's a handball.
Yeah, it has to be. Your hands have to be in an unnatural position for them to call. You're right, a penalty shot where it's not intentional.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying, Dave?
When did they change these rules?
This is when I think it kind of got heated up again, as Barcelona won the Champions League against Chelsea. And if you watch the replay late, there's a ball, and Chelsea fans are screaming about this. They felt that it should have been a PK for them, I think, or not a PK.
I think it was not a PK for them. I think it was one of those. It just hit the guy who was running away from the ball, and it changed. That's the thing, Dave. It changed the entire game. It changes the entire game. Now it gives the game a little bit more, less conflict when it comes to a penalty shot. At least there's a process now and a reason. Whereas before it was really the discretion of the referee. And hey, look, back in the day, a lot of these games back in the day were probably fixed, and we all know about it. And they'd call anything for the team that they wanted to win. So this protects the integrity of the game.
Okay. It was probably fixed, said the guy who's 0 for 15 in
those 15
penalty
games
shots.
Definitely fixed. In fact, I want my record expunged.
Are there other rules that you guys want to talk about, Jim?
Well, I think replay. I mean, replay is finally in soccer, in international play, with offsides.
As it should be.
As it should be.
On a goal or only on a goal?
On goals. I mean, this past Euro Cup, it really saved a lot of goals that were allowed. What it does, it allows the referee to free up, knowing the pressure isn't completely on them either to call offside or not offside. They know they have the backup of they know they're not going to die if they call an offside that's not a goal score.
Be murdered.
Yes.
Be murdered, yeah.
Exactly. I think maybe a lot of these rules were put into to protect the referees, especially in Europe, these international games. But I think replay changes the game. It changes the integrity of the game. It helps it out, helps the referees make the right calls at the end of the day, just like replay in your favorite sport, baseball, and the replay in NFL.
Oh, but what about the
referees are human? They can make mistakes.
What about the replay in the NHL where they go back 5 minutes to when the puck cleared the zone?
They let them play.
Or not it was right. They let them play, and then you like it?
Yes,
I think that's the right way to do it.
Absolutely, let them play.
It's very rare that they have to rewind it, but if they do, then you do.
It's happened.
Soccer is the same thing.
What's that?
Soccer is the same thing with play on.
All right, so it's play on, and then they go back and they check it if there's a goal. So
they'll get called down. You'll see the referees with the microphones on their head, and they'll get called down and say, "Hey, we got to review that to see if that was a penalty."
It's hard to call offsides because it's so split second. But when they show the replays, you got to give those guys credit. They get it. They get it right a lot.
They get it right. The referees get it right.
They must practice. Honestly, they must watch film and just practice in real time because they're out there and they're like, "How'd you see that?" Like on your blind eye, you're like, he's 4 feet off, and you're like, he's right, he's not off.
Yeah, it's all right. Any other rule changes you want to talk about?
I mean, to me, those are the big ones. I think that those are game-changing rules. Well, they actually got together and they probably said, "All right, why do you hate soccer?" The extra time, I know, bugs the crap out of you.
Contraire. That's my favorite part.
90-minute game.
It's my favorite part of the game.
It's my favorite part to watch. I don't know why you don't like it. I love it.
No, I love it. I love it. I don't understand it. I think it's just totally bizarre, like many soccer rules. But I love the idea that we have extra time and it's going to end whenever I want it to, me being the official. And you don't play to the buzzer. You just play until the guy has had enough.
But they tell you when it's going to end.
They tell you 7 minutes, and then you just go 7 minutes. And I get it. When the ball is down, and when you're playing the ball in on my goalie, and 7 minutes is run by, they're going to let you finish your bid.
No.
And
what you're seeing is if someone so it's extra time to make up for the injuries.
Yeah.
But if someone gets injured in extra time, then we have extra time.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're watching, why isn't it over? Because some idiot thought he was going to waste time getting hurt in extra time.
I've seen extra time.
I'm adding that on. Yeah. So it goes to 97, 98 minutes.
And Dave, you've seen the celebration of goals before?
Yes.
How much time does that usually take up in a soccer game after when these guys score a goal?
Yeah, but
they're taking their shirts off, running in the stands, going to the snack bar, and then the game eventually restarts.
Yeah.
So
grab a couple batteries, whip them off people's heads.
Yeah, some kazoos.
There was a guy that scored in the MLS last week, 100th minute. I think it's the record, 100th minute. I think it was Vancouver.
And that much extra time.
Yeah. That's exciting.
It's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes of extra time, of injury time. Yeah. All because of these players
milking the clock.
Milking the clock, being quote unquote injured when they're not falling down, flopping, acting, and
What's great, though, is when you know who's winning.
You do know who's winning.
You know who's winning. You don't even need a scoreboard to know who's winning when the injuries start to happen. Let's say you're the Revolution.
I don't know.
You're up 1-0.
I'm just trying to think. I think they're all. I mean, I can tell who's winning based on the way that they play because the teams tend to pack it in. Teams to play more conservative. There's a certain way they play when they're ahead, but it just seems like they flop whenever somebody comes close to them.
It hurts, Dave. It does.
All right, that's it for this episode of Soccerheads New England. We'll be back.
To be honest with you, we're in extra time because of your coffin.
I know. I know. That's a good point. That's very much what this is. I keep looking at the engineer, and he's just like, it ends when I want it to end. Anyway, moving on. We'd like to thank financial advisor Rick Spencer. He'll speak to your group about college financial strategies. Call him at 978-857-7573. Don't forget the Soccerheads experience for your soccer team, league, club, or whatever. The Soccerheads will make your fundraiser more than a show. We'll make it a soccer-themed experience. Email me, Dave, at scampscomedy.com. That's Scamps, SCAMPS, like a rascal, Scamps Comedy. Worst selection for a business name in the history.
Weeks I've heard you, and I've said, why don't you just, if you're going to say like a rascal, just call it Rascals.
There is a Rascals. There's a Rascals Comedy Club.
There's not a comedy booker Rascals. Go on.
All right, or you can call me, 978-828-9532. For Paul Nardizzi and Jim Ruberti, I'm Dave Rattigan, and this has been Soccerheads New England.